Coming into the game, just the emphasis on the ball. Obviously, they won that 2-0. Controlled so many of the situational football plays. They were able to play a lot more efficiently, run the football better, but certainly, third downs, red zone, fourth downs, they really control the game in so many ways. And so we didn't get enough shots at it. We didn't get enough opportunities. We got to play obviously a lot better. A lot of this comes down to, the details and the fundamentals of the football game. And so, sometimes it's a simple game, and we got to play better and give ourselves more opportunities. And so, when you look at it, we had 40 snaps on offense. Probably an all-time low, and then they had 77, so they obviously controlled the ball for much of this game.
How much did you find that the third quarter was kind of a big cause for the result of this game?
Yeah, they controlled the whole third quarter. Essentially had it, and we had one quick possession, turnover, and they got it back. And so obviously they controlled, we got a little bit of momentum going into halftime with that touchdown. Felt like there was, we're right back in it. We have a chance, and then for them to kind of control the entire quarter of it, go ultimately score, put themselves in an extended lead now, and we weren't able to capitalize.
It looked like four of the first 5 drives were 3 and out. Fast starts have been a big issue for you all so far this season. Why has that continued to be something you struggle with?
Yeah, obviously if we have a solution, we haven't found it yet. We got to play better, and I got to give us the best opportunity possible to be successful. We got to just play clean football. We just got to play clean football, execute plays, and put ourselves in position.
You only had 40 snaps, 40 offensive snaps. But how would you just assess how Tyler did in those 40 snaps?
I thought there were some positives that came out of the game from Tyler's perspective. I thought he threw it well, delivered. I thought that 2-minute drive was big-time football before the half. Even at the end, I thought he made a couple really good plays to quickly get us down in the red zone, and weren't able to run the football and get a first down there.
I know it kind of follows up to that third quarter, but you felt like because the Rams held the ball so long in that third quarter, that momentum that you had offensively kind of deteriorated at that point?
Yeah, real time, it had been 40 minutes by the time we got back. So, obviously we got to do a better job there. And then when we do have our opportunity, we can't fumble the football. So we fumbled it and turned it right back over to them.
I know they happened late. Do you have any updates on the 2 guys who left the game with injury?
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, Jack and Tolly, they had an ankle, and so we'll just see how that goes.
Was the decision for Alvin Kamara to see the field a little bit less after the fumble intentional?
We're just trying to get things going, and so Alvin's a big part of this thing, and so it was unfortunate we had turnover there. They won the battle 2-0 today.
Obviously, like a lot of things go into this, but what went into the decision to kick or keep the ball after winning the toss?
Just receiving.
Just want to start.
Yeah, we got to find a way to start fast, and obviously we're not there. We got to find a way to start fast, feel some early success in the game. They have a really high success rate when they lead at halftime, and so you got to do everything you can to put yourself in position to be successful early in the game.
What were you seeing on that challenge, whether Stafford was down or not?
Yeah, just trying to give ourselves an opportunity there. Felt like I obviously didn't see it until after I'd thrown the flag because we're the road team, and so we felt like there was some compelling. It was quick, and so we made a decision to see if we can steal a possession there, which would have been a huge opportunity, early in the third.
Do you have someone you consult with on those challenges, or
Yeah.
is it mostly just?
No, it's upstairs. Yeah, upstairs. They're obviously looking at it, and we understand there's risk associated with those things too.
What was the explanation on I think it was Blake Corum, the ball came out, Cam came up with it, but did they roll him down? Like what happened?
Yeah, they said he was down.
Kellen, what are some things you hope to build on in terms of how Tyler played today moving forward?
Yeah, I thought, I think operationally, I felt like he was very, very calm. He executed at a pretty high level. I thought he handled some adverse situations really well, which is obviously a positive going into these situations. He didn't let those other factors impact his play. I thought, even his turnover, he's at least, he was a fourth down. He's trying to give us a shot. Outside of that, I felt like, he was executing the plays. And, I thought there was a great sequence there when he made, a few plays really quickly in the fourth quarter, completion. We got right down the field, and, we just weren't able to run the football there.
Kellen, from your perspective, why was it so difficult today to get Matthew Stafford out of rhythm? Because he was able to kind of put together drives and move that offense.
Yeah, they had a really good balanced offense. I thought they were able to, run the football, and pass the football and play in those mixed downs. And so when you look at it, they had a lot of control of the game because of that. They were able to, run the football, create the play action opportunities, play in positive third down situations, and we weren't able to get the rush and the obvious passing ones.
Was that sequence? I think it was 3 straight plays. You had Taysom lining going after quarterback with Tyler off the field. Was that by design, or was it kind of after that big run to start? You kind of
Had a package available, anticipated staying with Taysom for a few plays, and we had that available. He's, I felt like Taysom gave us a little bit of something there in the run game, which was a positive, and gave us some positive things out of that.
What was the challenge today on the defensive side when it came to the sort of those play action rollouts to the tight end underneath? That seemed like something that came up a few times.
Yep, eyes, details and fundamentals. They do a great job of running the football and then marrying the action game off it, and we got to stick with our assignments and eyes within that. You obviously have a run fit, but you got a coverage responsibility as well, and so it's a stressor. It's challenging. There's nothing easy about it, but they had a lot of success because of it.
I know we kind of ask this every week, but the mood after a loss like this in that long, right?
Yeah, it's always tough. These guys put everything they can into each and every week in an NFL football game, and there's a lot that goes into it, a lot that emotionally, physically that they pour into this, and it's challenging. We're going through a challenging storm, and we face some adversity, and we got to keep pushing. We got to keep pushing together. I think that's the thing. I love that these guys keep battling. This is going to be one of those. You get through this storm, you're going to tell one heck of a story, and but we got to get there, and so we're not there yet. We got to keep getting better. Got to keep finding ways to narrow the margins and give ourselves the best opportunity to be successful.
Is this a difficult game to evaluate Tyler just because of the low number of snaps?
It's going to be a great opportunity. It's first start in the NFL. Certainly there were some positives in there. Thought he handled himself well, and so we didn't get enough opportunities to compete.
You guys knew coming in the Rams had a formidable pass rush. How do you think Tyler handled that? Specifically, some of the movement he showed and being able to get out of the pocket.
Thought some of his off-schedule stuff was a positive. I thought he handled himself well, stepped up in the pocket. I think that's always the biggest challenge for young quarterbacks, to step up, not step out and go behind the rush, because that's where these guys are going to chase you down quickly. Thought he had some really good step-ups and kept his eyes downfield. And so certainly that's a really tough pass rush, but I thought he did some good things.
Thanks, Kellen.
All right, thanks, guys.